What's up guys, Scotty here from a Blue Coconut family and welcome back to City Skylines. Now, if you've seen my other videos, you'll know what I'm doing this about. If you haven't, then hold tight, this is going to go quick. The biggest update to, or the biggest DLC to hit City Skylines just hit the Steam market. Of course I'm talking of the Industries DLC, which if you remember Simcity, where it allowed you to create factories and produce things from the raw materials you pull from the ground and such. It adds that to the game and brings a whole new level of gameplay to City Skylines in and around Industry. So it is a very cool, unique thing we are seeing. So I've done two videos already, one of farms, one of oil, and one of my forestry and logging area. Now that only leaves one area of industry left, and that is my ore. So, as always, you need two things to start your industry area. One, you need to be able to make sure that the area you are doing is fit and ready for that type of industry you're producing. So of course you come to your natural resources tab and you look at the area. So we now see this big blue area here is ready for my ore. Great stuff. The second one is you need to zone it. So you come to the districts and areas and you go to the paint industry area and you draw a big nice area around the area where your industry is going to be. Make sure you include any extra bits that you might want to add in later, like that road there. I'll explain in a second why I needed that. And it then adds a nice little name to it. So this is the Concord Industrial Park. Very nice name. So then you come back to the bit and you now need to define what this industry area is for. So you come to the garbage and industry area. Yes, the icon has changed. I explained in a couple of videos back on how it changed from a rubbish bin to now the little factory. So within this you're no longer just stuck to the, rubbish and garbage collection. You've got lots of little areas in here. So we're going to be focusing on this one for ore. So we need to define this area, and of course for that you need to add a ore industry main building, and that's what I did this little bit here for. So I'm going to put it here, and what this does is this defines the area to be for ore. So we can now see this is the Concord ore group, and it is set to level 1. This building changes depending on the level the area is in. So as we're currently on level 1, you increase it by increasing produced resources and also having more workers in the area. And as you upgrade through, the building gets bigger and bigger. You can see here that this is my now level 4 logging area. This is quite a nice large building, whereas over here my level 5 farm is a nice large farm building. So it does change depending on the size and complexity of your region. We're now level 5 oil products, and we can see we've got a very big large oil headquarters here. So it's a very nice way of doing it. So of course back to the oil. Now you've got a couple of things. Of course we've got to get the ore out of the oil, or the ore out of the ground. So you've got a couple of options here. But first, let's add in our workers' barracks. So this is where our workers will stay when they're on site. We'll add in a couple of those, and we'll also add in the ore maintenance building. This helps increase productivity in the region. And if we click on it, we can see that it is currently a storage efficiency of 105%. So it's quite nice there. So that's our kind of admin area. Now, not many vehicles and stuff come in and around this, so it's good to have. You can have this on the main road area. It's very useful. Now you want to think about this group, how we're going to have it, where we're going to have things. So I think I'm going to have a lot of my extractors down this one, and then my storage over here maybe. So you come back to your industry area, and you come to the green one, which is the extractors. Now you've got a couple of options here. We have this seabed mining vessel. Now of course this is ploppable off a coast, so if you've got somewhere offshore that has ore underneath it in the seabed, then that is really useful to have. But of course we're inland, we don't need that. You've got the large ore mine underground. We've got the small ore mine underground. You've got the large ore mine, which has the huge digger on it, which looks very, very cool. And you've also got the medium ore mine, as well as the small one. Now, they all produce the same thing here. There's no real thing that it changes between it. One, it looks good as specific as the aesthetics of the place, but also the amount of production. So this is 4,800. This is 8,000. This one is 11,200. This one goes back down to 6,400, and this one is 9,600. So I think let's add in a couple of these large ore cranes because they look absolutely freaking awesome. Did you see what I did there? Awesome. I'm very sorry. So we add in 4 of those, I think, and then let's add in some of these mine shafts. So all of these are going to be producing lots and lots of ore, but we are going to have that power issue, which I'll fix just momentarily. Add in a couple more of these cranes, just so that it looks very cool from a distance of these big ore mining machines in the distance. Okay, let's quickly fix that power issue. Now, already we're going to start seeing trucks get shipped out of this area as soon as they come back online. Here we go. Here's all the trucks starting to come out of this area as they're producing more and more. Now, because we've got nothing which is using up the raw ore material, they're instantly being exported out of a region. So they're currently going out this way and onto the nearest highway to be sold off in other areas. Now, if we click on the industry tab or the region area, you can see that we're producing 126 tons of raw ore, and that is only going out to an output. So currently it's 0 tons, but that's because we haven't actually sold anything yet. We're nearly hitting our first milestone, so it's very easy to get past that 1-star thing. And we'll keep an eye on our little hut here just as we approach that thing, so you should see it level up. Okay, it didn't level up, it didn't change much, but you did see the star appear there. Now, we want to hold on to some of this material. We don't want to let it go because we want to do some things with that. So we go back to the garbage and industry tab and go under storage buildings. Now, we said we wanted some storage over here. Now we've got a couple of options. Now these all store the same thing, so it doesn't matter what they look like, they just all store the same sort of thing, but it's just for different amounts. So this is 300,000, this is 400,000, 500,000 and 600,000. So I'm going to add in a couple of these ones here just to store loads and loads, but I'm also going to stick in some of these because then these actually change the look depending on when they have product in them, which I think always looks very nice. So currently they've got no power, but that's okay. This is an industrial region at the end of the day. They can have power lines going here, there and everywhere. So we can now see that rather than all of that being sold, which no longer an output, they are all coming straight this way and down this and filling up these storage areas. Now, the storage areas have a different storage modes. By default they're set to balance, which means that they like to store about 50% of the raw material. So they have room to import more and also some room to export some more. If you want to hold on to more material because you want to use it within your region and your own city, then you have it to fill, because then it holds roughly about 100% and tries to keep it topped up. But if you want to make quick cash and you want to get rid of it as quickly as it comes in, then you've got the option to empty it as well. But for now, I'm going to keep it on balance just to keep it a little bit, even, because we don't really know what we're doing with it yet. Now that's all good. We're starting to produce some more raw materials here, and they're all coming in. We can see the trucks all lining up. Now, of course, as you can see here, this does produce a bit of a traffic problem. So that's something to keep in mind for all of you when you're building these areas, is you want to be able to spread them out and have as little kind of traffic issues as possible. You can see here that in my oil region I probably didn't do as good a job as I could have, because we've got quite a backlog of traffic, which does impact the amount you can export, because if the truck can't get out, no one can buy it. Same for the farm area. Now this has settled down quite a bit because these are now set to fill, so these are full up, and so it's not exporting as much. So the traffic has calmed down quite a bit here, but you still get quite a decent amount of traffic flow up and down here to the main storage silos. Now back to our ore group. Now we have been extracting the ore from the ground over here. We have started collecting it and holding it tight inside our ore storage facilities. We want to be able to do something with it. Now each ore area has 3 different exports. It's got its raw form, so for example this, you can export with raw ore. That doesn't produce as high a market as you might want, so you've got 2 other options. You've got to be able to process it. So with ore, you come to processing buildings. You can either process it into, what was this down? This produces it into, does it actually say? Here we go. Metals, sorry, I'm very sorry about that. So produce it into metal and also produce it into glass. So really you can see you got metal ore where it's extracting, but also some sand in there as well. So you've got the factories to counteract that. So you've got the ore grinding mill, which turns the raw ore into metal, but you've also got glass manufacturing plant, which turns it into glass, and then you've got the larger versions of those. So the larger versions do a production rate of 6,400, whereas the smaller ones do a production rate of 3,200, so it's actually half. But one thing to keep in mind is that upkeep. So the large ones are about between 320 and 384, where the small ones are 256 and 192. So we're going to have a couple of these large ones. So let's do these ones as, what's this one? This is the rotary kiln, so this produces it into metal. And here's the fiberglass plant, so this produces it into glass. Like that there, nicely job. Now they have got power and water, which is good. So what's going to happen now is, as these fill up, we're going to get trucks come out of this and start delivering directly to the plant. So we can see it all goes in and it starts producing metal. And of course then we will go on to sell that metal in the region and then boost up our output. So we're currently at a total profit of minus $3,208 or whatever the currency is. We can already see that our building has increased because we're at level 3. And yes, so that is the ore area set up. Now, that's our 4 areas of industry covered. If you want to go back and watch any of those, click back on the videos and you can see them. But in the next videos, I'm going to be covering warehouses, how to import your newly processed material into your cities, but also going to be looking at these unique mega factories and how you can use a combination of these processed materials into something to produce it for your own city. And it's a very cool thing that they've now added. Right, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up so other people can find it. If you like it yourself, give it hit the subscribe button. You'll be the first person to know when the next video comes out. Any other suggestions that you might have on what you would like to see from my City Skylines videos, pop them in the comment section below. I've been Scotty from the Blue Coconut family, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!